It's done, sir.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Very good evening. I welcome you to Primus IAS Academy. This is one of the very pioneer initiative taken to provide an affordable and best quality civil services kind of classroom program with mentorship and all type of support system. You can say a vibrant ecosystem for students pan India. So I welcome you all to Primus YouTube channel. Myself, Neeraj Nachiketa. I am faculty of Science and Technology and Environment, and I've taught with Vajiraman Ravi, Vision IAS, Drishti IAS. I think I cannot take all the names. I have been fondly called by uh, beloved students all over India as a flying faculty. Right from Arunachal Pradesh, Itanagar, Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir, to Trivandrum, Trivandrum, even Gujarat, Ahmedabad, Bhopal. I have traveled pan India and I have given my classes there. Already, I am now into 20 years of my this kind of teaching program, and I am very honored to associate myself with Primus IAS, and is a privilege for me. And particularly, you know that I have been traveling frequently to South India. You all know that civil service examination is one exam which is sought out by aspirants all over India. And if you look at state of Karnataka and Bangalore as a hub, Chandra layout, Vijayanagar is a kind of a place which you can compare with old Rajendra Nagar in Delhi. But now things are changing very fast. Dear students, you know that the kind of coaching, the kind of support which is required for this exam, the dynamism of this entire kind of program, that is changing. And it's very obvious because you know that our country is changing. And it's very obvious that not our country, our administration is changing, our governance is changing. And so UPSC is changing, right? You know that's why civil service exam is called mother of all exam. And the kind of challenge, right, this examination provide at the beyond level of kind of students who prepare. But I know that there are students right now who have joined in this channel. You have been preparing for a long time, and I believe your preparation and your hard work will definitely pay off. But something is required, which I will be trying to provide you in this particular insightful session. And I thank Kripal, who is the director of Primus IS, Primus Civil Service Academy. Let me, before I start with the today's paper, you know that UPSC Prelims 2025 and the analysis part, right? I would just like to briefly tell you that Primus College in Bangalore, we have a very good infrastructure, right? And already Primus B School, Primus College is running for number of years and provide a kind of undergraduate program and postgraduate programs like BBA, MBA, and very soon this college will also come out with PU program. So we are also going to have an integrated program in the college campus, residential kind of program and the kind of program there. At the same time, my dear friends, my dear students, we are now in Chandra layout, right? We are now in Chandra layout, and the kind of classroom, reading room and library we are making, that will be one of its kind in the country. And you can have the same kind of vibe as you fill in Delhi coaching institutes and big coaching classes of Delhi. And needless to tell, I am a teacher, right? I am a faculty teaching in Delhi. You will find all such key faculties, stalwarts coming to Primus. And you will find the difference very soon when we will roll out our team of faculties. So we are going to have the best quality classroom program in our foundation batch, and we are going to start our mentorship program and the test series very soon, because today prelims exam has been done. So very soon we are going to roll out all our programs there. So now let's come to the main part. So I always say that this exam, right, before the exam and after the exam, in Delhi, we jokingly say that Kali Raat is a Hindi word, Kali Raat, or you can say dark night, right? You have seen the movie like Batman movie, right? Right, Dark Knight, or you know, before the exam is all tension, complete tension. The students, they don't get proper sleep on the night. Then after the exam, another tension starts. What's the next? Am I qualifying the exam? Am I going to write main exam? I'm very sure that is going into your mind, right? Is now striking to your mind whether I will clear my cutoff, whether this year will be my lucky year to write mains exam, right? All those questions are coming to your mind. So, my dear friends, we will go to the analysis of the past years, and I'll also try to give you one of the very important insight I have already prepared on a chart here. I will be discussing them. So welcome to Primus. So we'll start our journey from here, and consider this to be an interactive session. I can see your chat box. I can see your comments. So please interact, and I will be, glad, very happy to, talk to you. So let's start with that. Trend analysis. So what I'm going to discuss now, based on today's paper of a prelims exam, right? And over the past year's program, we'll see the all the latest trend and everything, and then I'll come to today's paper, the key insight of the today's paper, and I'll go into that one. So let us now go into this first one. If you look at this examination, right, how was the paper? Right? This always happens there. How was the paper? That is it easy, difficult, right, moderate? So compared to last year, if you compare to the last year, a bit easier. But remember that UPSC is a hard nut to crack, right? So easy is a relative term. I always believe that when you talk about easy, moderate, difficult is a very relative term. And you all know that lakhs of candidates appear in this exam. So it's a very relative term saying easy, right? For certain type of students may be very easy, may be very difficult. So overall, right, based on the question paper, what I have, I'll show you this paper here. I'm having this paper with me, the entire analysis. I've done all the entire analysis throughout the day. I'll be coming to that. So based on my judgment, my opinion, yes, compared to last year, is a bit easier. But you cannot say very easy. It's not very easy paper. UPSC civil service exam, right, always maintain a standard. So if I have to break down the entire aspect of the prelims paper, so I will break down into three important components. The first component which comes here, that is the static part, syllabus part, which requires a conceptual clarity. Now, what is the trend right now? And this you will find from 2023 onwards. Now UPSC is asking questions in depth. That means superficial knowledge will not help. I'll again repeat. Superficial knowledge will not help you. You require a detailed kind of understanding, core areas, concepts. You have to be very thorough with Indian polity, geography, economy, environment, science and technology. Every area of general studies, you need to be very, very thorough. Now, one of the gap which I see over the last 5, 6 years, that kind of understanding and the kind of preparation is only with few type of students, but majority of janta, majority of the people, they're not getting to the real need of the exam. So first thing is that even this year exam, UPSC is looking for conceptual clarity. I'll give you example. Let me give you one example here. There is a question about time zone, right? Geography, when you read geography, and I'm very sure all of you who are preparing for the exam would have read G.C. Leong, a very comprehensive book, Oxford publication, G.C. Leong. That book, you know that, very comprehensive. And the first chapter, if you go there, international date line, right? Greenwich mean meridian. We all study latitude, longitude, right? There is a question in terms of calculation of time, where places have been given Siberia and the Nemo. There is another place called Nemo. And UPSC is trying to understand whether students who have read geography knows very well about meridian concept. Even there is a question asking direct question, 4 time zones, country with 4 time zones, right? The direct type of kind of question there. If I go further, conceptual clarity, right? Economy, fiscal deficit, revenue deficit, RBI, Reserve Bank of India, right? Polity, pardoning power of President of India, governor, then even 10th schedule, a very simple concept based, provisions of Indian Constitution. And I'm very sure that any polity teacher will go through all those concepts. So my dear friends, first thing, if you are good in your syllabus, right, if you're good in your conceptual level, I'm very sure that almost around 30 to 40% of the battle is won. Even history, even the history questions are like that. Direct questions are there. So my first observation over the last 3 years, UPSC is continuously trying to test the understanding part. So Primus will be now focusing on those quality understanding part with the best faculties coming from all over India. Now, second thing, facts. Second aspect is facts. But you know that factual information, right, students, they're not very comfortable. There are students who prepare for state level exam. Let's suppose KPS exam, KS exam, or let's say one-day exam, railway, banking. They're good in rectification, rote memorization. But when it comes to civil service exam, it's not those kind of facts for one-day exam. It is not a one-day exam. Mind you, it is not a one-day exam. The kind of rectification you do that. Here, the level of questions are different, which are linked with current aspect, but a different way. Like this year, chess, world chess, question has been asked. Right, the winner has been asked. Right? So that becomes very important. Mapping. Every year, UPSC is asking question on maps. And international relations, IR, world affairs become very, very important from mapping point of view. So it has asked the question there. Now, third thing, which is very, very important, which I would like to add here, government, right? Government programs, right? Schemes, initiatives, right? Yojanas, All these are getting in the question paper. Let me take one example. PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. Right? Prime Minister Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana is a Hindi word. Surya Ghar, solar house, Muft Bijli, free electricity, right? Government scheme. And again, the facts are there. How many household will be covered with solar power? 1 crore household. How much jobs, employment it will create? So when you go to PIB, Press Information Bureau, or government website, you come across such data. Then again, nodal ministry, which are the nodal ministry to implement such programs, right? So government becomes very important, and it's very obvious. One day you are going to become an IAS officer. One day you are going to become a civil servant. Whatever job and whatever departments you are there, you need to have knowledge of all existing government programs. And given the state, whichever the state you belong, and whatever your cadre is there, you need to have that. And both central government and state governments, they run different type of education, healthcare, a lot of programs are there. So that is another key which you find here. And current affairs, you know that. Current affairs always is the part of the examination. And current affairs is not that only current affairs. Current affairs connected with subject areas, whether you talk about history, polity, governance, whatever. Like there is a question about Raja Ram Mohan Roy, right? Modern India. When in modern India, you all know that Raja Ram Mohan Roy, right? You have read about that. Now the question, why Raja Ram Mohan Roy? There are many that time. The reformers were there, right? There are many reformers were there. But why this year exam, Raja Ram Mohan Roy was asked? So you know that very soon, very recently, 150th, 150, 100 years, 150 years, 75 years, 50 years, 25 years, some landmark event, right? UPSC set question on that, right? I'm giving from history, very good example from current affairs, but is not asking the headline. Remember that. UPSC is not asking headlines, but is connected back to history. 150th, that anniversary from Raja Ram Mohan Roy. I'll give you another example. Self-respect movement. Self-respect movement. Viacom Satyagraha. And you have read in history, right? You have read in history. You all know that Viacom. Where is Viacom? Kerala. God's own country, right? And it's a very important kind of non-cooperation movement, Gandhian movement in the state of Kerala, right? And you know that P.B. Naikar, right? Viacom Satyagraha. Why? Why question was there? 100 years, 100 years, centenary, question history. So my point is that when it comes to prelims exam, current affairs is a window which take you to the part of the subject, part of the general studies. And this I've been always saying that, right? Offline classes, you'll find me mostly in offline, although you'll find my videos all over YouTube and all social medias. But I believe in the offline classroom. I believe in the offline teaching. So there, the things I've been discussing there. My subject, science and technology, Gaganyaan, Axiom 4, Gagan, all these topics, monoclonal antibodies, like Nipah virus. I told students that Nipah virus last 4-5 years. You know that Nipah virus outbreak, where? Kerala, Kozhikode and Calicut and all this area, there's a news there. And there was a huge demand of monoclonal antibodies. And we procured monoclonal antibodies from Australia because we were not having the manufacturing capacity. And I told in the classroom that Nipah virus and monoclonal antibodies will be in the question paper. It is there. So concept becomes very important. So now, if I look into this kind of part of here, let's look at the questions here. Let's understand here. Subject and the year there. Right? Here you have a tabular form here. And let's compare for 5 years. Let's not go very past. Let's look at 5 years, 2020, 2020, and 2025. 2020, if you look at polity question, 18 questions were there, right? 18 questions asked in Indian polity. Now, if you see here, 16 question in 2021, 12 question, there's a dip. The dip in the questions in the year 2022. And this was the COVID time, right? Corona time. Now again, the COVID is knocking our door. In Delhi NCR now already COVID cases have come. So that was another time, 2021-22, COVID time there. Then 2023, again, there's slightly rise in the question. 2024, again 15, and 2025, you can see 13. But yes, if you take a range, right, from range, if you look at 12 to, right, 15 questions, every year you will get from Indian polity and governance. See, UPSC always try to maintain a balance, right? It always tries to maintain a balance with all the subject areas. And that's why I always keep on saying that you should not neglect any subject. See, trend analysis, all right, it gives you a kind of a broader perspective. But it should not happen that, okay, a particular year, UPSC is asking more question from here. The next year, UPSC will again ask the more question. It's not that, right? This examination is also called Uncertain Public Service Commission, right? Unpredictable Public Service Commission. So you cannot predict there. Prediction is beyond your limit, right? But what I would like to add here, that UPSC will always ask questions from polity, from geography, from environment, from every subject. I will try to always maintain a balance. So you can see here, ancient history, 4 question, 4 question, 2 question, 2 question, 2 question. Now this year, 3 questions. Direct question. So 3 to 4 questions, you'll see last, right, over 5 years, ancient history questions are. Medieval history, 2 question, 4 question, 4 question, 3 question, 1, 2 question. Medieval or medieval history. Question you ask. Then modern India, very important, Gandhian movement, right? Gandhian movement and all other kind of development, non-cooperation movement. This year, 2 questions from non-cooperation movement. Right now, you can see here modern history, 9 questions, 7 question, 4, 3, 3, 10. 10 questions this year from modern history. And what I said, unpredictable. Right? Unpredictable. So what most of the people were doing, oh, there is a less question, look at here. Just see here. 2023, if you look at modern history, right? 4 question, 3 question, 3 question. So before 3 years, student had that perspective that modern India, now UPSC is not asking question. Right? Bouncer. This is called bouncer. That's what it said. UPSC is the dawn. Dawn, you know that? Dawn को पकड़ना आसान नहीं है, मुमकिन नहीं है. Right? I've been always saying this. Do your homework very well. Prepare the subject very, very well. You should not neglect any part of the syllabus. Okay, the last 2 years, 3 years, this is more being asked, so I will study only ancient medieval. I will give less time to modern history. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that UPSC in the coming year will not ask more questions. But now you see here, very interesting thing. This is what every year students commit this kind of a blunder. Now this year, how many questions from modern India? 10 questions. Now everybody, modern history, modern history, modern history, non-cooperation movement, self-respect movement, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, all will be now modern. What will happen next year? What will happen next year? 2026? Modern questions reduced. Ancient medieval question will be more. Are you able to understand? So, my dear friends, please try to understand UPSC. Try to understand what UPSC is looking for. UPSC doesn't want anybody's shortcuts that you will read only pick and read. That will not work. It's a very clear message. It's a very clear message from UPSC. Look, we want civil servants who are really hardworking. We want civil servants to run this country who have a thorough knowledge. We don't want those type of superficial people only pick and drop topics. They pick the topics and they study. We have to run our country, right? The country need able officers. Country needs those civil servants which are really required for the jobs, not those kind of things what you are doing. But unfortunately, right, Chandra layout or old Rajendra Nagar or wherever I am going there, I am finding this kind of problem. And I've been telling that, see, as a kind of a person which, going through this, I keep on telling them, look, don't do this mistake. Do your homework very well. Go through every subject there. But again, people are not understanding. So who are at fault? The entire system is at fault. The entire learning process is at fault. So my dear students, if you have not done well in this year exam, don't feel sad. Don't feel disheartened. Right? Next year, 2026, and make sure that 2026 will be your last year, your final attempt. Think on that way and make best use of the time and try to just this analysis which I'm trying to provide you, right? Try to understand that. And now again, restart your preparation. You know the movie 12th Fail? You know this, I think this film actor, Bollywood actor, uh, Vikram Messi, right? This movie 12th Fail. You know that it was a Bollywood, you can say blockbuster movie. It is based on the civil service exam. It's based on the real person, IPS Manoj Kumar Sharma and his wife. You know that? If you have seen this Hindi movie, Bollywood movie, 12th Fail, we will see how the hard work, the person, Mr. Manoj Kumar Sharma, who is right now an IPS officer, put across his all financial constraint, problem, and got into the UPSC exam, got into the civil services. Even today, see, whether it's 30 years back or 40 years back, even I believe today, there is no substitute for hard work. Hard work, there is no substitute. And I am very, very much, I have full conviction in saying this. If you want to become rankers, you have to work hard. There's no shortcuts. And you have to go all over the syllabus very well. And this is what I'm trying to make you understand. You have to study modern India, but it does not mean that this year 10 questions from modern India. So you will only read modern India and you will neglect ancient and medieval history. No, you have to read entirely. Who knows? 2026 exam, there might be more questions from ancient and medieval India. At least you are done with your preparation part. Now let's move on to the next one. Art and culture. 4 question, 3 question, 4 question, 5 question, 3 question, 2 question. Only 2 questions of modern, 2 questions from art and culture this year. One is Gandharva Mahavidyalaya. Gandharva art form, right? So the thing is that at least one question is coming from art and culture. And you have, see, there's a continuous average. If I take average art and culture, you have 3 to 4 questions from art and culture. Is there? Right? 3 to 4 questions are there in art and culture. And art and culture is very, very important. And art and culture is linked with history. Ancient and medieval history, they're connected with art and culture. Even contemporary times, modern times, art and culture, folk dance, classical dance, painting, classical languages. There are a lot of things in art and culture. And I believe our country is so rich. India is so rich in cultural heritage. Whether you talk about religion, caste, creed, language, we are many countries as single country, right? It's called melting pot. India is a melting pot. We have so much of diversity, differences, right? As one nation, but so many differences are there. You all know that. And as a person, we must have respect and we must learn for all religion, caste, creed, all the cultural aspects. This is the vibrancy of the country. There are negatives, but you know that when you are a civil servant, when you are an IS officer, there's no scope, there's no room for negativity. You have to think for the society. You have to think for people at large, right? As a civil servant, you have to think for people at large. And it's very, very important for future IAS officers, civil servants to know the art and culture. It's very, very important. You have a question, say 3 to 4. Then coming to geography, 8, 8, 11, 13, 16, 14. Is maintaining a train, 16, 14. Geography. Again, students read geography, but geography being a technical subject, we don't give so much of importance. Or most of the time, the students are afraid of geography, they skip it. This time, what UPSC did? Map-based questions are asked every year. But what UPSC did is that has also asked question from world geography. School days, going back to school. Right? This is truth. This is Satya. Is a truth that school education is the foundation for this exam. And those who have done their schooling very well, for them UPSC is simple. NCERT, NCERT books, history, geography, and you all know that Atlas. But again, very sorry to say that you all carry Atlas with you. In coaching classes, you carry this Oxford Atlas, Student Atlas. But let me ask a very honest question to each one of you. How many of you every day go through the map, world map, India map, physical map, political map? If you read newspaper headline and you come across anything in the headline, any country or the geography, how many of you open the Atlas and try to do that? Very few of you. Most of you wait for coaching institute to provide you the notes. Right? What is something called spoon feeding? Okay, I will wait for the end of the month. The magazine will come. Then I will, and again, you will, many of them are not doing hard work. I said, no, they will not do the hard work. They have a compiled material. Oh, yes, yes, yes. This is a map. This one. No use of the brain. UPSC understand all this. UPSC know what is happening with the aspirants there. Right? So see here, world geography is getting importance. I have myself written books, right? Pearson publication, I have got 3 books of geography. Geography of India, then human economic geography and world geography. And I've been telling that world geography is one of the very important things. And why world geography? Tell me why UPSC this year asked more questions from world geography? Current news, international relations, world affairs. The India is emerging as a country. You know that India's position now worldwide as a country. The geopolitics, things are changing very fast. And in the arena of geopolitics, India is creating its own mark. Suppose you join Indian Foreign Service. Suppose Indian Foreign Service. And you work as a Foreign Service officer. So you need to know the location. You need to know the geography. And in my book or any book which you read in geography, geography is a very interdisciplinary subject. And geography is linked with the way of life of the people. Our own country, if you look at geographically, we are again a diversified country. On the north, we have Himalayas, the mighty Himalayas. We have in the peninsular side oceans, right? Central Highland, Deccan, right? Gondwana land. If you go to the northeastern side, land of seven sisters, we have different geography there. Hills and mountains and rivers, right? If you go to the northwest, Punjab, Haryana, we have different geography. Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, different geography. If you go to Gujarat, Bhuj, Surat, Vadodara, different geography. And as an officer, you will be any part of the country working for the welfare of the people. So geography becomes very, very important. And now there are a lot of development in world affairs. So world geography becomes very, very important, right? So that's what, current news you have to read. And I've been telling you daily current affairs. The Hindu newspaper, Indian Express, right? Those who are following the newspapers properly, I'm very sure. And it's not only reading the newspaper, not just, doing the ritual, reading the newspaper, yeah, I have read it, I know this. No, 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 no. Making notes, analyzing it, connecting with the subject, solving PYQs, previous year questions, prelims and mains. That kind of current affairs. But what is happening with the students right now? They're waiting for coaching institute to prepare material and give it them. Let's take this. And then they will do all the rectification. Right? So, my dear friends, awake is the time of awakening. And particularly for students from Bangalore students, the kind of coaching I am seeing there, the kind of teaching I am seeing that, they're not up to the mark. I may be blunt, but I'm outrightly saying that is not up to the mark. The teachers who are teaching and the kind of thing, they're not bringing those kind of thing there. So now there's a time for reform. So this is what I'm trying to make you that. Now look at here, environment and ecology, my subject, the subject which I teach, right? And you know that I'm pan-India known for environment subject. Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, whichever part of South India, I've been teaching for a long time. And I've been telling about this one. If you look at environment question, 18 question, 2020, 19. Then you can see 14, 16, 14, 11. But now you will say that, sir, this year only 11 questions have been asked from environment, right? So many questions are coming like this and that, something of that. What I said to all of you, balanced approach. You have to maintain a balanced approach. Keeping a balance is a very, very important. Maybe 11 questions this year exam, but I said that next year maybe 14 or 15 questions. But let me give you a very important insight here. You know that, my dear friends, environment is a subject which is very much cross-disciplinary. It's an interdisciplinary subject. Environment is linked with geography. The one very important subject comes geography. And every year in the prelims exam, there are overlap questions. Overlap question. That means a particular question will have one part from geography, another part from environment. There will be interconnection of topics. And not only geography, even environment questions are linked with economy. Let me give a very beautiful example. Carbon market mechanism, carbon trading. So where do you study market, trade, economy? But now you are talking about carbon emissions, climate change perspective, Paris Agreement, right? They get interconnected there. Environment subject is linked with biology, like for example, species. This year, there is a question about peacock tarantula. Peacock tarantula. Guti tarantula. What is a tarantula? Is a spider. Is a tree spider. Is a critically endangered spider, right? You know that species. When you read about wildlife like tiger, elephant, rhinoceros, all species part, birds, right? Ecosystem and the species part. Every year, UPSC ask one question on a species. It was there in the Hindu paper. If you do the Google search, if you just do the Google search, peacock tarantula, you'll find a beautiful photograph of peacock tarantula. So biology, ecology, ecology. Ecology comes from biology. So you need to know the science. So what I've said, although 11 questions of environment, but there are questions of environment connected with geography, economy, science and technology, right? Agriculture. So their cross-cutting questions are there. If you take them together, it will be more than 11 questions, right? So that's what environment subject is, a dynamic subject, correct? And UPSC is going beyond traditional books. And let me tell you very clearly, UPSC is having entire understanding of what the materials are there. You need very good understanding of environmental aspect, pollution, climate change, conventions, conventions, COP meeting, Conference of Parties, Baku Climate Change Summit, COP28 last year, Azerbaijan, that was in the news. So anything which comes from there, you have to be aware of that. Now coming to economy, 18 question in 2020, 14, 14, 14, 9. Last year, 9 questions from economy. And then 11 questions from economy this year. But does that signify that economic trend is going down? No, not at all. No. There are economic questions which are connected with other areas of general studies. There are economic questions connected with other topics of general studies. GS, right? 11 questions matters a lot. Now, if you look at another subject which I teach, science and technology, S&T, 12 question, 9 question, 11 question, 6, 4, 11 question. 11 questions. You can see that every area, minimum 10 questions from each subject of general study. Minimum 10 questions will be there. And this year, Dornier aircraft, C-17 Globemaster, right? IL-76, UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle, what we call drone attack, explosives, weapons, defense topics, space and astronomy. Questions are there. Biotechnology, energy. But if you take energy and other cross areas of environment and other topics of economic connected with science and technology, there are around 16 to 17 questions. 16 to 17 questions are there. Now let me come to another area. Current affairs. 7, 6, 15, 15, 28, 15. Current affairs may be direct question, but current affairs could be indirect with each of the subject areas, right? Current affairs could be indirect with each of these subject areas, right? The current affairs is a key. But what I said, daily current affairs, right? So that becomes very, very important. And reading current affairs is an art. It requires a very different approach to prepare for current affairs, right? Now you see here, international affairs, relations, 0076355 questions from IR this year, and particularly mapping based questions, map based questions. There's UPSC is asking question there every year. Then miscellaneous, you have 2, 3 questions, right? That is what comes here. So 5 years trend analysis, this question gives you insight. Now let's look at here this one, series wise, polity and governance, to be answered by reading Lakshmikant alone. Very good question is, can the questions be answered by reading Lakshmikant alone? My answer is no. My answer is no. Merely Lakshmikant will not help you. Yes, Lakshmikant as a book is a very good book. Is a very good book for students to read. But my dear students, you have to diversify. I don't know how many of you read Subhash Kashyap book. You know Subhash Kashyap book? We used to read in our preparation time. Our Parliament, right? Publication division, publication division. Then, PM Bakshi book. Lakshmikant is all right. Is a book there which can help you build a foundation. But you need to go beyond Lakshmikant. And what now UPSC is asking dynamic question. It is asking two level of question. One is a conceptual clarity. One area is this one. And second is the dynamic area, current aspect. How much you can connect Indian polity and governance with the current developments. That becomes very important. So if you look at the graph, right, last 5 years, there's a, what you find the dip is there. But it does not mean that UPSC will not ask questions next year. Polity will be there, right? So that is again, but again, I'll tell you that I have found a big difference on North Indian coaching institutes and South Indian coaching institutes. North Indian teachers and South Indian teachers. I have found differences, right? I am going pan India, so I know that kind of differences what we come across there. So everybody follow Lakshmikant. I said that it's good. It's a good book. It's a very good book to begin with. But after mastering Lakshmikant, understanding and going through Lakshmikant, you should try to go further, step by step, one step, another step, right? So current development, you have to connect with the polity and governance. Now let's look at the next one here. So ancient history, how many questions could have been solved by reading old NCERTs? Old NCERTs. The three books are there. R.S. Sharma, Satish Chandra, Bipin Chandra. I'm very sure. Bipin Chandra, Satish Chandra, R.S. Sharma. Three books of NCERT for. But what I found this time nowadays, people are just spectrum book. See, if you take my advice, right? If I am in your place, I will not start from spectrum. I will not start from spectrum. I'll start from where? I'll start from NCERT books. What I said here, going back to school. I'll go back to the schools. Class 6 standards, 6 to 12th. Class 6 to 12. And now the trend is that UPSC is getting back to the old NCERTs. The NCERTs get revived. And recent revision, I don't have to comment. Right? Our education system. I remember as a child, as a young child in school, used to be bitten by master, by teacher. Used to make us stand in the sun, right? Outside the classroom, we used to stand there. Punishment, right? But today, 96%, 97%, 99%. Now the result has come. CBSE result has come. ICSE, CBSE, State Board, all the results are there. That means today 90% marks. Below 90%, you are not. Now the standard has come to 90%. And our books have become very simplified. Our books have become very simplified. Now this is creating a gap. The level of questions what UPSC expects, the level of understanding and the knowledge base which an IAS officer should have, and then our present day school curriculum, there's a gap. Yes, I do believe there has to be always reform in education. I'm supporter of it. I do support that examination should reform. It should be going with the present need of the time, according to the learners. Like our new education policy is a very good policy, very proactive, very progressive policy of Government of India new education policy. But my point is that textbooks which give you thorough understanding, a kind of perspective, that has to be done. And UPSC in the prelims exam requires that kind of perspective. So my take on UPSC preparation, old NCERT is a must. One should read old NCERT. Then you read Spectrum or whatever number of books in the market you read, there's no problem. But initially you have to go through it. That is what is there. Now, if you look at this one, medieval history, is the RNCERT enough? The word here, enough, there's nothing called enough. There's nothing called enough. It always keep on spreading. Yes, old NCERT is one of the foundation which give you the understanding part, but again, new NCERT. You cannot neglect new NCERT. You have to read new NCERT also. Other books of medieval history, you have to read that. That is also very, very important. So, does it mean that the deep in the graph, that means no medieval history books have to be read? No, medieval questions will be there, but it can be read from this. So, NCERT, even new NCERT can give you a kind of understanding. But you should explore out other books. Then coming to this one, if you look at this one, modern history, spectrum, enough to answer question. If you see the graph there, 8, right? This question will go there. Around 10 questions this year exam. I told you that. Spectrum, you can read that. But first you start foundation from NCERT. Then go to the spectrum and other areas there, right? Then now coming to this one. Art and culture, utility of NCERT, class 11th and 12th, art and culture book. Yes, it's a very good book. 11th, 12th NCERT book is very, really good book. Right? But again, you know that there's now book in the market. One of the another problem which I have found here, that list of books. And there's some certain books that is everywhere. And everybody will say Nitin Singhania, Nitin Singhania, Nitin Singhania. And all are after that. I have rarely found students reading school books on art and culture. Even I say you the state board, Tamil Nadu state board, Kerala state board, Karnataka state board. Look at the state board books. They're very good in art and culture. And now UPSC is diversifying into art and culture, which are regional. Now the questions, if you look at regional basis of art and culture, State specific art and culture. UPSC is now going to such kind of areas. So there are a lot of books in the market, but what I have found, the people are now only a certain list of books, they're running after those books. They're not diversifying. So my dear students, try to understand over the last 5 years of the examination. Is an eye opener for all of you. You have to read Nitin Singhania, but there are other books also there in market art. But you have not tried out because nobody told you that there are books written by Mr. Bhagat, right? There are books are there in art and culture. Pearson Publication has got a very good book in art and culture. Why? Because you have been reading about only one name and you're following about that one book. So you have to read a certain book and then diversify. So that thing here. Now, if you look at another thing, geography, G.C. Leong. G.C. Leong is enough, or NCERT, Majid Hussain's geography should be referred. Geography, I told you that is a very important subject. You have to follow this G.C. Leong. You can say it is a Bible. Continuously questions which are being asked. Even last year, G.C. Leong, around 8 questions came from that book. You can say it is a Bible, is a Gita, it is a Quran. You take whatever of geography, that is a G.C. Leong is there. Majid Hussain book, Kuller, D.S. Kuller book. All these are there. So this will become another very important thing. And geography, old NCERT. Again, old NCERT. Class 6 to 12th. 6th standard to 12th standard. Another very important thing. And nowadays, the new NCERT, class 11th and 12th, there are 4 books are there, which you all have been reading that. Don't neglect any part of geography. Whether it's Indian geography, physical, human economy, or world geography, physical or human economic geography. You need to do it proper way. Then coming to, if you look at environment here, environment ecology, Shankar's environment, recent edition is the basic source. Which other sources? Not enough. Shankar is old. Shankar is old. Will not help. I teach environment ecology. Right? I know that that book is now gone. PMFIS, gone. You need very different approach for environment. Very different approach. One study material, one book which gives you the entire aspect of it. What I told, something which has come into the limelight and the name and trend, everybody does the same thing. But there are other good books. How many of you know Dr. Raja Gopalan's environment book? Tell me. How many of you know Dr. R. Raja Gopalan's book on environment ecology? No. Only one name is there. You are all running after that. IIT Madras retired professor, Dr. Raja Gopalan. I met him personally. And is a very good book for environment. I have written my own book, my book on environment ecology. If you do search environment and ecology, authored by Neeraj Nachiketa, a dynamic approach. Every year the question comes from that book of GKP publication. But who read about that? Only Shankar. That's going on there. My dear students, now you have to come out from that herd mentality. and current affairs become very, very important part of environment, right? Now let's come to the next part here. Economy. How many questions can be answered from budget economic survey? Very important. Union budget and economy survey. They are very important source. Plus current affairs, the Hindu and Indian Express, whatever is coming in the current affairs, economic development, they are very, very important. After learning the basic concepts in economy, next level is this one. And I'll tell you that economy, again, many students find difficulty. That becomes really very, very important here, right? You have to read after that and part of it. Then you say science and technology, which magazine to refer? Magazine comes later, not now. Everybody will talk about Vision IAS, PT 365, Insight, this and that. There, that is the last moment. Initially, you have to start from a book. So what is first basic thing? The basic science, general science, NCERT, ninth standard, ninth, 10th standard, and biology book. Biology is very, very important. This year, again, there are three questions from biology. There are a question from virus, biotechnology question, genetics, health. Questions are being asked. Botany becomes very important. Botany, agriculture-based botany questions. That become very, very important. So basic science. Then you need science and technology book. Unfortunately, students don't read any science book. And again, don't go by any popular publication house. Don't go by like. I will tell you very clearly. Don't go for any such kind of only with name. Good book in science and technology. Right? Like I have written here, one book is Oak Bridge. Oak Bridge publication. You have to first start from here. Then class notes, study materials. Then comes coaching institute materials. Remember that. Then comes coaching institute materials. And then this magazines. Merely magazines will not help. You have to first command the subject. And SMT is very, very important. Right? Current affairs. Current science and technology questions. Topics. Right? You should not directly jump to the magazines. Magazines should be the last resort, not the first. Right? Then coming to this one. Current affairs. Do we need to read monthly magazine or daily newspaper reading is enough? Daily news, daily current affairs. If anybody does daily current affairs, will be the winner. Monthly compilation or annual compilation, they are for revision purpose. That's the last moment revision. Daily newspaper, the Hindu paper, the Indian Express, the two newspapers, that's the key here. Along with magazines, important magazines, that are key. They have to go through that. Then comes monthly magazine or year-end compilation. But daily news is very, very important. Right? That becomes very, very important. And you can see the graph here. Coming to that one. Now, current affairs timeline. Answers can be traced from past 1 year 8, past 2 years 7. But you have to read even GK and GS, general knowledge. Now, static versus dynamic. Static portion 60 questions. See? 60%, more than 50%. More than 50%, you have the theory part, syllabus, with facts and everything. and 40% is the current affairs, government programs, dynamic part, but not direct current affairs. Current affairs connecting with the static, dynamic areas. You need balance. You need balance of both, right? That is required here. Now, difficulty level, easy, medium, difficult, this one. So this year paper is not easy. It's not easy. So, but 30 questions are easy. You look at breakup here. Out of 100 questions, 30 questions which you can directly solve. If you have done history and all, you can do the direct one. 27 questions are medium one. Again, if you have prepared very well for last 1.5 year, 2 years, you can solve them. And they're linked with the syllabus and static part. Geography, economy, polity, even Indian polity questions. You can solve. If you have prepared very well, you can solve. History question, direct question can be done. The difficulty level 28 and bouncers 15. Remember that. Your competition is not with the bouncer questions. Even the rank 1 toppers will not be able to solve this 15 question. This is not the competition. If you are not knowing the answer, there are lakhs of other candidates. They will also not know the answer. They're also not aware of the answer. So that is not to worry about. So if you look at 85 questions and 15 questions where you don't have any head or tail, from where the UPSC has asked the question. And every year it happens there. Every year there are questions which has nowhere. You have not read in any kind of book or you have not read in magazine or something. Questions are there. So that is not your competition. Your competition happens with this 85 questions. How much you are able to solve 85 questions. And now if you look at easy and moderate, right? One second. Right? So if you look at here, the point is that easy and medium. If you look at easy and medium, the 57 questions are there. Around, you can see around 60%. Around 57 questions are within your reach. Now, which are most difficult question? 28 question. Again, if it's a tough question, few questions based on your preparation, you will be able to solve. But there will be many such questions you will not be able to solve. Even I believe this year, anybody has made 70 to 75 attempts. Given the fact that accuracy is higher, correctness is higher, answers are more correct, right? They will be able to qualify prelims exam. Are you getting my point? Even I believe anybody has made 75 attempts, 75 into 240 questions, 140 marks. And let me assume 75 attempts where you will have around 80% of accuracy. Your accuracy and confidence is higher. You have taken those questions off here. Let's say 30 plus 27, 57 plus 28 difficulties there. Out of mix of that, suppose you have taken 30 questions, you are able to solve 25 of them. 25 questions. Moderate, let's say you are able to solve 20 questions. So that comes 45 questions. And let's say here, difficulty level, if you are able to solve even 10 questions there, it comes here 55 questions. This I'm saying with accuracy, that means where you are 100% sure, 100% accurate. So let's say even if you have taken some risk, you have done some kind of a risk and you have gone to 70, 75 questions. And let me assume that 10 questions are wrong. You make 10 questions wrong. So every wrong question, 0.67 marks will be minus. So 3 questions, 2 marks. Let's say around, even if you make 15 questions wrong, let's say I'm saying 15 questions wrong. You have attempted 75 questions, but suppose 15 questions are wrong based on your calculation elimination, you have eliminated some of the options. So 60 into 220 marks and 10 questions, 15 question wrong. So you have a 0.67, that is a minus. So that will come around 3 question, 2 marks. So 10 minus 10. You are getting your score something around 110 marks. You qualify. You are going to qualify the exam. 100% you will qualify the exam. You will clear the cutoff. If you are here, I will say with full confidence, start your mains preparation. Start your main exam preparation with full confidence. You can start the main exam preparation. Now, if you look at types of question, factual, 28 question, conceptual, 31 question, applied application-based question, 5. Match the following question, 10 questions are there. Chronology-based question, there's none question. So how many statement type correct question? 26. Now see, this year, factual question plus this statement type question. Factual statement type questions, that is coming across 28 plus 26, that is a 54 questions. Factual question, either you know or you don't know. Either you are aware or you are not aware. And statement type question, you cannot make guesswork. Statement type question looks into conceptual clarity. There will be concept plus facts together in the statement type question. And now UPSC is asking 3 statements, not 2 statements, but 3 statements. Statement 2 and 3 are correct. 2 and 3 explain statement 1. Either of statement 2 and 3 is correct, and any of these explains statement 1. That type of question. It requires thorough understanding, thorough knowledge there. Then again, applied question 5 is there, right? So chronological based question. So that is where you have a breakup here. So now, very important question. Final thought, what may have worked in 2025 prelims? Those students who have done their homework very well, read history, geography, polity, economy, the static part, 60% static part, thoroughly. They're the winner. And current affairs. Second, what would have worked very well? Those who have gone beyond kind of a popular materials, popular magazines, popular materials, popular books, and done the thorough knowledge, deeper understanding, would have solved it. Right? Factual thing, who have taken care of the facts and concepts and practice, could have done that. What may work in 2026 prelims? Now the future, let's say your prelims 2025 is not well, has not gone well. So start for 2026. So what is required here? First thing, NCERTs. Second thing, reference books. The formula is same. Formula is the same. This formula work everywhere. Standard books. Then comes here current affairs. Daily current affairs. See, PYQs can be windows, but PYQs can only make you understand the nature of the questions and give you a practice of the pattern of the exam. But UPSC can always ask new questions, right? And then practice, practice, practice. Test, mock, right? Doing mocks. Practice. That's what is required to the entrance. But again, syllabus, study materials, books, NCERTs, thorough. Last but not the list, CSAT is getting tough year by year. And I have found 99% of the students, whether they are veteran, giving for 5-6 attempts, or whether they are beginners, all of them are neglecting the CSAT papers. CSAT paper is they think that January, February, or in the month of April or May, they will solve the mathematics or reasoning or reading comprehension. And although it is qualifying, you have to get 67 marks, more than that. But the kind of question that required practice, 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 and you're knocked out. If you're not able to get more than 67, you're out. Even though your GS is very good, you're out. Knowing this fact, still students are doing the same mistake. Reading CSAT, doing CSAT, last moment. D-Day. Waiting for the last. Will not help. It's not going to help you. Right? So this is what comes here. Now in terms of Primus, if you look at, now in the Primus, we are now building a very strong pool of faculties. I will be teaching you science and technology environment. Dr. Kumud Ranjan, Indian polity. Kumar Ujjwal sir, Indian polity. Rahul Sarup sir, Indian polity. The best in this game will be in Primus. Geography, Sabir sir. You know Sabir sir. Right? Economy, Aman Soni sir. Right? In geography, there will be number of teachers will be there. History, we have 3-4 teachers. Satyaprakash sir and Sajia ma'am, a lot of history teachers are there. We are trying to build, we'll have tier 1, top-notch faculties, tier 2, tier 3. Even the bilingual teachers, Kannada medium with English language will be there. We are building a team of 25 to 30 faculties. It's the first time in Bangalore, this is going to be an initiative. And I'm telling you that this is going to revolutionize. If you trust us as your guide, mentor in the preparation part of your journey, we are there. And very soon we'll have mains answer writing program, mentorship program, right? And our foundation batch. So remain connected with us. You will be getting all such updates from our social media handles, right? Facebook, Instagram, and even YouTube channel. You will get all those information. So be connected with us. You will be getting all such information. So if there's any question, then I would be very happy to answer your question. Right? I have covered more or less the entire part of it. If you want to ask anything, then please do ask. If there's no question, then I will end the session. But yes, you can always connect back to us. You can visit our website, Primus website, right? Our social media platforms and handles, and you can always reach out to us. We will be very happy to help you out and pardon. Now, the part of the last thing which I would like to add here, cutoff. Okay, what will be the cutoff this time of the prelims exam? Cutoff will be in the range of 95 to 105 marks. Although in the first glance, paper seems like easy, but it's not easy. I told you that it's not easy. A lot of factual questions are there. Cutoff will be a bit higher than the last year, right? It was a range of 84 to 86 marks last year. 10 marks will be plus than last year in the range of 195 to 100 marks, right? So if you're getting this kind of thing here, and those of you are getting 110, 120, start your mains preparation. Now, Primus is going to have reading room, library, everything, and we are now going to have reading with mentorship program. So you can take this opportunity and you can utilize it and prepare for your UPSC exam, right? So I thank everyone for your support, and I'm looking forward to meet you right very soon. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you.